I'm kind of optimistic and pessimistic in the sense that I think that there is a huge amount of work to be done, especially on the country code side, to get things sorted, which is sort of making me pessimistic. But I'm optimistic that CCTLD managers will work closely together and hopefully will reach a consensus. The first one is the supposed end date for September next year. And that, of course, has been sort of set out there because that's when the current contract that the NTIA has with ICANN to run IANA is due to expire. Now, they can, of course, they have an option to roll that for another 2 years. Then the concern becomes, well, it'll be an election year and so on. But it's a very, very tight time frame, and I think we should all kind of, remember that it's not the end of the world if we don't make that September deadline, but we should all strive to do so. I think the biggest battle, bluntly, is that in a number of the communities, a number of the IANA customer communities, there are groups of people who actually think that the status quo is what we should have. And I think we need to be very clear that we have to have consensus to move forwards. And I think that consensus needs to be across all the communities. And it's a very, very hard thing to achieve, and we shouldn't take it for granted that it will be. We should be working extremely hard. And it's right that the numbers people should be making their own arrangements. It's right that the CCTLD should be doing that, principally because, just take the CCTLD world, they're the only people who can do it. But what we need to guard against is doing that and not at the same time talking to everybody, because if we try and do it in isolation, that's a recipe for disaster, I think. Lots of members of the multi-stakeholder community are viewing this as an opportunity to throw everything that they want into the buckets. So, for the last 5 years, I have been saying that every computer should be painted green. Now that we're going through this transition, is my opportunity to get every computer shall be painted green as part of the thing. And I think we need to be very, very careful about that. So it's not just governments who are attempting to have everything dealt with. I think that I've been encouraged over the last couple of years by the movement of the ITU to being towards ICANN and ICANN towards the ITU. There's much more of a sort of collegial view now, and I'm one of those who actually tries to take people at their word. And what the information that we get from the ITU these days is, we acknowledge that ICANN has its job, and so on.